Now you're just going to confuse people. They're going to be like, we're watching the broken video or the real video?
Are we back on the same stream?
Shouldn't. No.
Oh, there's a new one.
Oh, there's a new one.
A new stream.
Is that the correct one?
Well, let's find out.
One way to... No. No, maybe
That's not the right one.
No, it's not.
There it is.
The internet.
Now we got it.
Oh, you got this?
Yeah.
Is this
Two
the-
live events right now.
Man.
Is this the real Dolemite live stream?
Yes.
This one claims it's
The
live
underscore
now, but it's
real.
not.
No, that's not it.
Original.
It's
Well, no, we
quality.
don't want to watch original Dolemite live stream because that would be messed up.
Right.
Right.
All right. Safe to
Two
tweet?
live. Assuming the computer doesn't decide to die again, yeah, sure.
Good idea. I tweeted.
Oh.
So you have one
Excuse
that's
yourself.
working?
What?
Because I just keep getting please stand by.
No, you go back
I'm back.
and you see how there's
Oh.
Did I click on the wrong one too?
teach these motherfuckers how to internet.
The
There we are.
address should end with ppm.
Oh.
Capital P, lowercase p, M. M as in month.
As in motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Oh, you starred out the U in motherfucker.
Really, Chuck?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, people might want to retweet it.
And?
And they'll retweet it with motherfucker in it, Chuck.
Everyone fucking relax.
No. Man up. Don't censor yourself. Don't be that guy. Don't ever be that guy. If you're going to fucking swear, fucking own it. Motherfucker. That's what Dolemite would say right now if he were here,
He's dead.
had he not passed away tragically at the age of 81.
Yeah.
This is tragic. I mean, 81's pretty good.
Yeah, he did all
It's
right.
tragic that the man is no longer here.
He probably lived
It's
hard.
fucking tragic. Yeah, he probably did. And we salute
I
him
mean,
for
it
that.
is hard out there for him. I've heard this.
It's also so cold in the D.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
One of those is a weird YouTube thing. One won
Yeah.
an Oscar.
How the fuck do
Sir.
we post to keep peace?
Wait, Dolemite won an Oscar?
No.
Duh.
Hard Out There for Pimp. Soundtrack.
Yeah.
3-6 Mafia.
Oh, Christ, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
That tied with
Oh,
Martin
Christ,
Scorsese.
yes.
They had it before Scorsese did.
Yeah, that's right.
Because movies are better than films.
Yep.
So says 3-6 Mafia.
It's true.
It's fact. They won first.
Science.
Yeah. You can't prove it. Can't disprove it.
Nope. Cannot.
Right.
I wonder if they've sold their Oscar yet.
They turned that thing into a bong within 60 seconds.
No.
And then left it on a tour bus somewhere. Guarantee you.
I've got,
All right, I guess I'll put this on Facebook.
I've got to find a better description than that.
Do you?
Well, I mean,
Do you?
yeah, I do. 'Cause it's barely English.
Hmm.
The one that's on IMDb. Nope, that's not a plot summary.
What is it then?
That is like a movie summary of like, this guy made a movie.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. If you go there for Dolemite, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
stand-up comedian Rudy Ray Moore made a movie. And it's called Dolemite. Thanks. Thanks, Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, is starting to brand physical media releases. There's a certified logo on certain
Oh, good.
movies now. Notably John Wick, which came out today, has a little
Certified fresh.
certified
Is it
fresh.
just a sticker on the outside, though? Like, am I going to have to look at that like
I think
every
it's on
time?
the case, yeah.
The letterboxed one is Dolemite is a pimp
Yeah, I know.
who is set up by Willie
Tempting
Green
to get there.
and the cops.
You should just say Willie Green
I am
over
going
and over
to
and
probably
over again.
read it. No, that's still... Well, that's better written than the other one.
It's not that well written.
It's better.
It's betterer. It's more better.
Apparently, the sequel is available for streaming on Amazon Prime. The
Super
Human
duper.
Tornado.
Tornado. Rudy Ray Moore.
The human tornado.
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 It's a little better.
This summer, the tornado is human. It's rain. Rain, son.
You thought it was rain. Oh, that's right. We have a skyline.
Yeah, it's it's right above your head.
You're about to get leaked on.
Oh,
son.
that's okay. Right there. That's my. Never mind. Screw the.
Chubby Rain.
No, you can't read it.
I'm not reading. I'm looking at the weird domain.
It's Netflix.
Yeah, but
It's all blown up. I'm like,
Yeah, but when did it
Don't
become
worry
because
dvd.netflix.com?
nobody uses that shit anymore.
Oh, all right. They are so
I just wish they would let you link. Like if you have something streaming, let me link it.
yeah.
But they're like, no, no.
Yeah, it just takes you back.
Because
to
making that whole letterbox list, I'm like, even if I find them on Netflix, there's no point.
Yeah.
And then Netflix changes so often. That
Well, can I stream it is stupid too because they'll
Yeah,
be
it's
like
busted.
there'll be like stuff on Vudu and I'll be like, oh, I want to go see if that's standard def or high def, and I'll click it and it'll just go, Vudu can't find this.
yeah.
Like, thanks, you guys run a great service.
Yeah, I found Amazon was the best to provide links for just...
Well, all their shit goes
because-
in by a number and it sticks
Yeah,
with that
and
number.
even if they don't have it, it's like, it still has a landing page for
yeah,
it.
it's like, yeah, we don't have this right now.
Yeah. And stuff that's on Prime, even if it goes off, it's still, you can rent it
Yep.
99% of the time.
Yep.
And man, you can rent a lot of movies. I didn't know you could rent movies on YouTube.
Yeah.
But all those Shaw Brothers ones, like, I'm astounded at how good those looked.
Yes.
Like, the transfers that they put on YouTube were fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
No wonder they want to... they want rental fees to see any of them.
Yeah, I would say that's deserved for that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they have like where you can watch a teaser or something of them.
Yeah, there's like a 2-minute teaser.
Yeah.
Which is basically...
Just the first 2 minutes?
It's kind of almost like a trailer. No, it's not the first
Oh, okay.
minute. It's
Because
like...
that's how what was it? Voodoo does that. Like you can watch the
Yeah.
first 2 minutes or whatever, and it's
No,
like,
it's kind of like a trailer, but it's kind of just like, here's some sample scenes, and then... Man, that is some Chubby Rain up there.
Chubby Ray.
Well, now I can't hear it because there's drumming. Okay.
Man, I hope that gets picked up. It's little
This
atmosphere.
sounds awesome on the mics, by the way.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're talking about.
No.
It's like the one time we had.
Oh,
the
we're
ghost.
still-
No, I meant
Recording.
the fucking drumming and everything.
Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
I forgot we're live on the internet.
We are.
Yeah, well.
No.
Yep.
Rudolph Raymond.
Rudolph.
Rudolph Raymond.
Sorry.
Rudolph Raymond. It's R.R. Moore to you.
Shall we make podcasts? What does everyone say?
I would like to make a podcast.
That's one yay for making podcasts.
Nah, let's just go home.
That's one
I
nay
would
for
like to-
making podcasts.
No, wait, it's Black Exploitation. Of course we're doing it.
Okay.
I'd like to officially register a.
So that's John Kerry's vote for making a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And what say?
Ha, flip flop.
Yeah. What say ye, the gentleman from the north, south, northeast, wherever the fuck you are?
I don't know which position.
I don't know.
Which position am I on the little split screen?
It doesn't
thing?
matter. I say yay, so that makes it a majority.
Whatever. We can just leave.
We can.
I will abstain.
All right. Okay. Podcast. Podcast it is then.
Hang on one second before we start.
What?
My wife says that the live stream is awful.
Is it?
Well,
Hey,
what?
Well, that's just. We're really sorry, but this is just the quality we put out every week.
she married a fourth of the podcast. I can't help
Is
it.
it like laggy? I know I reduced mine to 144p.
Well, yeah, I turned off the.
Yeah,
real-
she sent me a still frame that looks like 144p.
Sweet.
Does she have 144p selected?
Well,
Is
she-
the internet garbage at your house?
I don't know.
Are you
well,
streaming some movies from
better
your phone
find
right
out.
now?
No?
Yeah, my ping is fantastic.
Gotta find
My
out.
Bing is fantastic.
Telephone.
Let me just see if I can.
Your mobile device from the future.
Is it relevant?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should be good on our other people watching.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. How's the internet?
Hey.
Looks like somebody is watching the wrong one.
We sound
Wait,
in HD.
Are you inceptioning the picture right there?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, is that my phone? this your phone?
No, that's your phone. I can tell by the giant
Is this your
crack.
phone?
I just
Man. Dolemite.
live stream audience. How is it looking there?
Everybody in the live stream, how's it look?
Are we okay?
How does it look?
Do we look as normal or
Does it look better?
This is not a chance for everyone to go like, oh, y'all look terrible all the time.
How the stream look?
Yeah, but y'all look old.
Wow. We thought we were like 20 or something, but Jesus. How are you still alive?
Kent says it looks good. Let's go.
All right, make a podcast. Tell
Might be
your
local
wife to reboot the router.
Okay, yeah. Just turn it off, turn it back on, honey.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Daddy's gotta go to work.
It's just your garbage.
You're not wearing a cast.
Yeah, you got to earn those YouTube bucks.
All right.
Wow, that you were just the worst.
You're supposed to clap in front of the microphone.
Need a Kickstarter to get you to relearn how to clap.
I don't know what happened. I need to take a week off and get my groove back.
God.
It's like you're woken from a coma. I don't know how to clap anymore. You have to teach me.
This summer, they taught him how to clap.
How BJ got his clap back.
Oh,
That's recurring.
that's you never get rid of that.
Yeah, you
always-
don't get it back. It
always
just
with
comes-
you.
Yeah, it's only in remission.
No, that's one that's curable. There's antibiotics out there. I mean, it just so
That's what
happens
you heard?
that I keep going back for,
Yeah.
some more from the same source.
Yeah, to treat the chlamydia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that her name?
Don't talk about my girl that way.
Yeah, we call her the clap.
She's the leader of the clap.
So,
Yep.
Y'all ready to... y'all ready
Human
for this?
tornado.
Dolomite. No, it's not the human. Stop saying it. You're going to confuse all the
that's the
motherfuckers.
sequel. Human tornado. It's a great trailer.
Shut up.
Let's just talk about how much we think we will like the human tornado.
Tornado.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 260.
Wow.
All
Nintendo.
right.
Numbers.
Things.
Yeah. Yeah, numbers.
Woo,
260.
podcast.
Woo, been waiting for this one.
Hot cast.
Oh.
Woo. Get some.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every February is we go
Yeah.
ahead and we do ourselves a special theme month, our favorite of the year, Blaxploitation History Month.
Hell yes.
Hooray.
Time is upon us to officially begin.
Hooray.
What we do with this month and every other month is
best month of
we
the
watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. We come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jockses and robot jocks.
All right, right
Hey,
on.
Robot jocks.
And the
Solid.
bad movies doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags as in douchebags after Twilight.
Honky ass jive turkey.
Boo, trifling.
Yeah, rat stew, something.
Rat soup.
Yeah, rat soup.
Rat soup eating insecure honky motherfucker.
Right. There you go.
Hi.
So, if you didn't guess, perhaps, we watched 1975's Dolemite.
Dolemite.
Dolomite.
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 The story of a mineral.
Foreign film.
Yeah. let's get a plot summary for this fantastic motion picture out of the way. Sprung from the slammer to help the FBI take down the corrupt cops and fellow gangsters who framed him, Dolemite and his stable of strumpets turned kung fu killers soon lay waste to the scoundrels. Can you dig it, baby?
Did you just say strumpet?
I don't think we've ever said strumpet on the podcast.
Strumpet?
I didn't write these words. That's what's the best.
I've never actually met a human that physically said strumpets.
I said strumpets turned kung fu killers
Wow.
and scoundrels in the same sentence.
Strumpets.
A
Was
female
that like-
prostitute or promiscuous woman for our less learned listeners out there.
I just
Was this
love that,
written by like a 1960s English professor?
I think like some 20s producer was like, Cecil B. DeMille came in and was like, may I perhaps write the plot summary for Dolemite for you?
Look at those strumpets.
Strumpets turn kung fu killers.
Oh, it's a bunch of strumpets.
strumpets.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
good. That's-
man.
I was waiting to read that.
Yeah. Boy.
Anyway,
A strumpet sounds like some kind of
strudel.
rare foot disease
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, I, mean,
I got
you get the strumpet.
Got a bad case of the strumpets. Turned kung fu killers.
I gotta stay home tonight.
You gotta get
Strumpets
special
action up.
I got to go to the doctor. I got a strumpet on my back. I got to have it
I
lanced.
gotta get 2 Dolemite shots right in the neck to get rid of the
strumpet.
to cure your strumpet.
Yep. A lot of vitamin C.
I've been walking so good since I got the strumpet.
Oh, well,
I see why you picked
For that one,
plot
yes.
summary,
Sure, yes.
pretty good.
So Dolemite. The BMFcast's own Rudy Ray Moore returns.
Hey.
And his,
our favorite part of the monkey hustle.
yeah, which is strange considering Yaphet was in that.
You guys are remembering that wrong.
Are we?
Yeah, you are.
Yaffet and the Kid was our favorite part.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true, yeah.
Not Rudy Ray
Rudy
Moore.
Ray Moore was just stumbling through that thing being Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah.
Kind of like he does in Dolemite.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well,
No.
we'll find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out this episode.
The BMFcast is about to find out.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, so Dolemite, I mean, Rudy Ray Moore's biggest movie, title, character, whatever.
Sure.
This is it. This is the big one. For Rudy Ray Moore, that is
It sure is.
the pinnacle.
So we just swung right into it.
Yeah, so here we are.
So as the plot summary said, the movie opens, he's in jail, having been framed for... basically, like, he's in jail, and they're like, hey, Dolemite, go see the warden. He's like, tell that motherfucker I don't want to see him. And this is our first of many motherfuckers in this movie.
Yep.
Not tiny motherfuckers.
Both said and
but
seen.
Yes.
multitudes of motherfuckers.
So he goes to the warden, and the warden's like, hey, I got a deal for you, because you know how long you're in here. And then it's like, kind of like, it doesn't, like, the first time it doesn't bother with the diddle-doo, like, flashback thing. It's just like, cut to some time before. What are you doing?
Boom, Mike.
Oh, okay.
We should all adjust our mics.
Okay. Well, no, there
Mike's
were some
dipping
coming
into
up
the
from the
picture.
bottom
Yeah.
in this movie. So, but yeah, so it's like hard cut to some time in the past when he was framed by crooked cops for having stolen furs and drugs in the trunk of his car, which he said they aren't his. They cuffed him, and then they're like, "See, boys, we framed him!" Ha ha ha! And then cut back to the present.
Yep.
And then there's like some other bit where there's a flashback, and they do the like the little bit because like
Yeah, well, this is like Queen
Queen B is in the room with the warden,
You
basically
can call me
pleading for
Queen Bee.
his case.
Because the warden's like, hey, you remember Queen Bee, don't you? And cut to Queen Bee, and it just turns into Wayne's World.
And she's like, your cousin got shot, and here's how it happened. And he just kind of gets up and in best Rudy Ray Moore is like, damn it, kill them all.
Is he?
Well, in his best Rudy Ray Moore, just
Okay.
like, he just kind of stands up and gets angry and determined.
Yeah, like
I'd
this is
say.
the most reserved that Rudy Ray Moore is in the opening scenes because he's just it. There's a lot of like, here's one guy's face filling up the frame
Yeah.
shots, and it's usually him just sitting there, almost looking sedate, just going, "What do I have to do?"
I wondered if he had a problem with his eyes. Like, could not open them. For half the movie, it was just like, I wonder if he has eyes.
He had just woken up.
I believe that's called marijuana.
Ah.
Marijuana.
I see.
It was a hot drug in the 1970s.
Good to know.
Yeah. Also the 1960s.
Huh.
And the 80s.
What?
And the
Never
90s and the aughts and the teens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
What we're trying to say is
Look into that.
Yeah.
Marijuana, you
it's
say?
historically
Yes.
popular.
Never heard of it.
Well,
Is it dangerous?
no.
Let
it
me
is
tell you,
not habit
brother.
forming whatsoever.
No, it'll kill you. It'll
Is
kill
it-
you dead.
Is
One
it
puff.
legal?
No,
One
there's
puff
no needle
and
involved.
You're hooked and
Yeah.
you're selling your body for
One puff. How do you use a marijuana?
Well, Billy.
you get the brownie and then you light the brownie on fire.
Whoa.
And then you smoke the brownie.
Don't.
That sounds dangerous. Can I get in trouble for eating a marijuana?
Not if you're in Colorado
Wow.
or any
So
state
I could
that
go
has
ski
60%
and have the
approval to-
marijuana. That
could.
sounds fantastic. Anywho,
But if I'm in Colorado, won't I be high?
Ladies and gentlemen, the BMFcast players.
you will be. Perhaps
Wow.
over a mile. Yeah.
And the puffing is from the low oxygen up there. It's-
That's
huffing
what I would expect.
and puffing.
and puffing.
This marijuana sounds
Gonna
interesting.
blow that shit out.
We will say he does not do any marijuana or any drugs whatsoever in the movie.
No.
The only drugs that show up are the drugs that framed him.
Yes.
He is at one point almost covered in drugs, though.
Oh yeah.
after he violently sprinkles them on a cop. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crucial
But
scene.
yeah, he's very sedate in the early scenes, and it's kind of like the other people are actually kind of acting, and he's just like, "Can we get this over with so
Yeah.
I can get to the good stuff?"
Yep. He does not care for dialogue.
No.
Well, who does?
If it's just
He's not-
filler dialogue, he's not interested. If he
He's
can
not-
rhyme and tell a nursery rhyme of some kind that uses ass and motherfucker a lot, he's on board with that.
Oh,
But just to
100%.
get a scene from point A to point B, fuck no. Rudy Ray Moore has no time to give a fuck about your dialogue that
'Cause
he
he's
himself
Dolemite.
wrote.
No, see, it was touched up though. However,
That's
Yeah.
right. It was the original
story-
adaptation.
The story was basically like, "Hey, I was in jail and I get out and I got some bitches and they do karate and I have sex with a lot of them and,
Yeah.
and then I win."
Yep.
And then somebody was like, "Well, I guess I could make that a 90-minute movie."
Yeah, might have to pat it out
Yeah,
just a
just
bit.
Padded
You
it
may
out,
have to talk
but-
some, Rudy.
But yeah, I just love that he was sent up for stolen furs and drugs.
Yeah,
But the stolen furs were like the main. They were like,
Stolen furs.
he stole all these furs.
And also $500,000 worth of drugs.
right.
20 years.
But furs,
First.
very important. The fur market back then was lucrative.
Well, all those pimps.
I know.
Yeah,
You gotta
seriously.
have something to wear.
Yeah,
There was a shortage, like gas.
Yes.
Gas and fur.
it was the great fur shortage.
We were almost out of foxes
Yeah.
by then.
Oh no,
We'd overfoxed.
That's why we don't know what the fox said.
We almost
Yep.
didn't have Foxy
Gotcha.
Brown because of all the lack of
Yeah.
foxes.
Yep.
Yeah, overfoxing is a dangerous thing. that
Yeah.
we've
And so when
Luckily-
now there's a bunch of
we curbed it in the
anti-foxers out there.
70s.
yeah. So yeah, he's in jail and then he's-
Yeah. So we've talked for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and
we covered the 30 seconds
Yeah.
in the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. basically
Yeah.
he's told, you know, your little nephew's been shot, little Jimmy or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh no, what happened to Jimmy? And then
Yeah,
you get that.
yeah. Flashback.
But they basically they bust him out and they say, "You got to take out all the guys who framed you."
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm
let
like,
you
what-
out, and here's the deal: you got to go after this guy and take these guys out and do all these things. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And he's just like, okay, only 4 people know that you're getting out. You,
It's always a bad idea.
me, the governor, and a yet to be announced FBI agent
Yeah. Which,
who will reveal
Like-
himself at the appropriate time.
see, this would make sense if he was going into jail.
Sure.
But going out, he gets out and everybody's like,
Would it make sense if he was going into jail? 'Cause we proved that.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't.
it doesn't. But the best part is he's like, only 4 people know: Queen Bee, me, governor, FBI guy.
Yeah.
And Queen
Mayor,
Bee's like,
mayor.
I'm telling everybody you're getting out tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
We're gonna have a party.
yeah, it's just like, I'll have everybody there when you get out
By
tomorrow.
the way, the governor turned into the mayor. Because they said
Yeah.
he said governor in the prison, and then it was the mayor of
Yeah.
L.A. or wherever. the
Maybe he
hell
got
they
demoted
were. Yeah, sure.
during the course of the movie. It's hard to gauge time.
He deserved it. Let's be honest. But anyway,
I don't know.
All right. So yes, he's out of jail. Ladies come to pick him up in his car, and he can't, like, he's wearing a suit. It's not
just-
flashy. It's just a suit.
It's not any more or less embarrassing than anything else he wears in this movie.
No,
But he's like, take this
it's
bullshit
as normal
off.
a suit as you can possibly.
It's the suit you would
wear
buy
in
at
the
Sears,
70s.
and he just like stands outside, like directly outside the prison gate, and proceeds to strip while they're handing him better clothes. And
Are they?
Until she
yes.
hands
in
him
his
Yes, they
yes,
are.
they are.
until
Chuck.
she hands him cotton drawers.
yes,
To which he flips the fuck out.
yeah.
Bitch!
Because he's just like, oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah, this is so much better. You know, and all the prisoners are watching him getting stripped down by these ladies.
He's down to
like,
his briefs at this
yeah,
point.
this
I
is
think
nice.
they're looking at the ladies. I'm going to
Well,
go
either way,
yeah.
but they're just
They're still
watching,
watching
what the
what's
hell is
going
going
on.
There
on
was a
out
spectacle happening outside the
Yeah.
prison gate. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, but then he's like, cotton drawers. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yep.
But he finishes changing into his pimp appropriate outfit, hands the pile of clothes back to the guard, and says, "Please take these and wipe your ass with them." And the guard is like,
Oh, he doesn't say, please take
Well.
these and wipe your ass with them.
"Whatever." He
Yeah,
says some
it's like-
words. Wipe your ass with these.
Yeah, it's like in prison his power was taken away, and now that he's outside, he's just like, yeah, you wipe your ass with this, motherfucker.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
And the
pretty
guy's
much
like,
every sentence will get punctuated with an
Motherfucker?
angry motherfucker.
Of course, that's what makes it work. And the prison guard's like, "No, I'm going to hang on to him because you're going to be back here, Dolemite."
We'll have you back in.
Yeah.
Because yes, the guards at the prison are white.
Well,
There was a
not
black
all of them.
guard.
There were-
Yeah, there was one guard. There were.
This movie made a point of like calling out racial differences more than it actually showed. That's what's funny about it. It's like most of this movie was like there was There was white and black people throughout this entire movie, but like it made a point of like continually saying honky and shit like that, just because like I don't know.
But
It
Well,
has,
yeah,
it
in
has
any,
an
in
impact.
any of the prostitutes, it was always pointed out that they were black bitches.
sure.
Like that was a
well, by
phrase that
like
came up
by the evil cops,
consistently.
yes. By anyone who was obviously evil in the movie, but like the normal people, other than like one little, and I can't figure out if they were good or bad. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's like one
sure.
little side faction in the movie that I'm still not really sure where their alliance
no idea.
lay. You know, whatever.
Seemed like a double cross, but then wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so he's out of the prison, and like right away, it's all right. Dolemite's out. Let's kill him. And I don't remember. I don't remember who issues the first edict to do that, but they're like driving out of the car, like he's just gotten out of prison, and there's a car full of guys waiting to murder him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
and this is while the girls are basically telling him, like, Willie Green's taking over everything.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
no, the
the
first thing
Expedition car ride.
the first thing that happens when it drives away is they start stripping off the clothes that he just put on,
This is true.
and it's sexy time in the back of the limo.
Because Dolemite is a virile man.
Yeah, just big sweaty flank of a man who's just like check out my beef. So
Yeah,
so
all that.
there's gratuitous touching and stuff that goes on for an uncomfortably long time.
The story of my high school.
Gratuitous touching, the Mackie story.
That goes on too long.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, well, okay, pull up over here, stop the car, I'll get out. And the bad guys are like, kill Dolemite. I don't care about the ladies. So they pull up to the cars. Where's Dolemite?
And they look in the windows. And they're like, I mean, this is a 4-seater car. They're like, where's Dolemite?
Well, he's not here.
They're telling the truth. He's not here.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, buddy. And then he pops out with a gun, murders
like a
two of
machine
them.
gun.
Yeah. That he
Got on
assembled
his
in the
hip.
back seat before he got out.
Yeah.
Murders two of them. So within 5 minutes of leaving prison, he has committed 2 murders.
Yep.
And then makes one dance for a little while, and then it's just like, well, fuck this shit, and kills him too.
To be fair, they were trying to kill him first.
I'm not
It was-
arguing.
It was kind of sort of self-defense.
I know. I'm just saying.
But yeah.
There was a
He just left
good
prison.
line. Didn't they say, "Where's Dolemite?" And he jumps out from behind the car and says, "Up your ass, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
Before gunning them down.
Yes, as you do.
It's important to note these things.
Yes,
Yep.
it's very important.
Yeah,
he-
so he kills all those guys, and then he's just like, all right, let's get home.
well, one of them isn't quite dead, is laying by the side of the road moaning, and that's when one of the head ladies takes her knife, and off camera you hear zip and slice, and it's like, well, that was uncalled for. Just cut that man's dick off.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
he-
did something.
He'd already been
Dolemite.
shot in the chest.
Well,
So why add insult to injury?
It wasn't shown, but something
It
happened.
was implied.
it
was
was
implied.
implied. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so he gets back, and Queen Bee's giving him the lowdown on, well, we don't have your club anymore, but we still got,
The ladies.
still got your ladies.
She lives in the
Oh.
best house.
And also, while you were gone, the ladies, just in case, I don't know, sent them to karate school?
Sent all of your ladies to
yes,
karate school.
all of them through karate school.
She just
Now,
very offhandedly says that, and I sent all the girls to the karate school.
but this is after he asks a million questions about everything. He's like, where's my favorite girl? Oh, she's working for Willie Green. Where's my nightclub? Oh, Willie Green took it. And it's just like everything that he's like, she's like, Dolemite, we had to go work on the streets. That's how poor we were just to keep this house. And oh, by the way, I sent all the girls through karate school while you were in jail. It's like, wait, what?
So Willie Green, Willie Green, Willie Green, Willie Green, karate school,
Yes,
Willie Green.
right. And the drinking game for this movie is whenever someone mentions Willie Green because
is it or is it the boom mics?
it's both.
Okay.
One is drink, one is chug. But
the Dolomites?
yeah, but because the bad guy in this movie is also the director, he is not in the movie very much. So they solved that by having everyone mention him every 45 seconds. And you will hear the name Willie Green a million times. And most of the time you have absolutely no context for what they're talking about. It's just Willie Green has done a thing. I have no idea what
and
the
Willie
thing
Green
is.
is shown as the guy in the back seat when they first frame up.
Yeah. He's just like,
Dolemite.
doesn't like Dolemite.
Yeah.
Just doesn't like him.
I
Yeah.
actually think, well, I mean, we'll get to it in our sum up things, but I think it works, like, not having him in the movie that much, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
Everyone can be his hype man.
Straight- yeah,
Someone
exactly.
had to
That's
focus
what-
on the direction of this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm just saying, like, sometimes I like the villain not being in a movie very much because it's like you just kind of build them up. Whatever.
But yeah,
We'll get there.
They immediately, as soon as he comes out, like he's like the next scene is him walking to his car. He's like, all right, well, we're gonna get our shit back together. And good thing you sent him to karate school because that's awesome. And he goes outside and he's getting in his car, and immediately the cops that busted him the first time are there, and they're like, get up against the car. Oh, what's this? A giant bag of Coke in your car? And he's like, he's like,
and the
oh,
one
you
dude
framing
does some
me
of
up
it.
again.
He's like, yep, pretty good Coke here.
Yeah.
As he's just shoveling it up his nose.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna give you one chance. You just get out of town. Just leave.
And Dolemite says some Dolemite things.
Yeah.
And they hit him in the stomach like 3 or 4 times, like, stay out of our way, Dolemite. And then they turn their backs to him, which don't do that to Dolemite, because then he will sort of kind of kick you.
Yeah, he kind of jump kicks the one guy and then tosses the other one against the car and only punches him a couple times.
Yeah. Misses him completely with a kick, but whatever.
Yeah. I remember complaining about the stunt work in, like, I think it was Cleopatra Jones, and being like, "Wow, this chick could not fight at all."
Yeah,
Rudy Ray Moore cannot fight at all.
No,
At all.
No. But that's why he trained all those ladies to do the karate fighting, because later they are the ones needed for.
And also, one of his fights takes place almost in the dark. At the end.
Yeah, it's just a lot of grabbing and throwing. It's not really a lot of karate.
And it really is like it reaches the comical point where it's just like, oh my god, like this, like they're not even trying to make this look like he was like, we got one take, let's just do this.
Yeah. And there was like a guy on set one day who was just like, move your leg like this a little bit. Okay, that's kind of whatever.
Yeah,
let's just
it's
go.
almost like the fighting to him is like plot advancing dialogue. It's like, I ain't got time for this shit.
Yeah, just let me get to my nightclub.
Yeah, I gotta tell stories. And
I got bits to do.
They did make sure to mention that that his karate was a little bit rusty since he'd been in the clink for
That's
a while.
true. Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
Rusty. as in
But
Because you can't practice in the clink.
never actually existed.
Well, you can't.
Yeah,
If you go to the
but-
death warrant prison, you can practice karate all the time.
but God, the one
That's a white prison.
No,
I don't know.
the one cop he beats up though, he grabs that bag of Coke and he's just like flinging it all over him. Like this guy's coated.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
laying on the ground, just utterly coated, and Rudy Ray Moore's got it all over his legs, and he's
Yep.
like, "Motherfucker, you, god damn it!"
Yep.
He's just so pissed. It's like he's speaking in tongues at that point.
He does do that a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, so he beats the hell out of them, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get you next time, Dolemite."
Yeah. That's almost exactly what they say.
yeah,
You'll get yours.
yeah. Well, he tells the other guys like, "Yeah, well, we'll get him busted in an hour or two." Mm-hmm. And is that when we're introduced to the hamburger pimp?
That might be when that scene happens,
Yeah.
because it seems weird and random.
There's a lot of weird and random that happens. Like
Well,
scene transitions are just like
let's
all of a
define
sudden.
a little and a lot, because last week's was a whole lot of random. This is
Yes.
some
Well,
random.
this one we're just dropped into the middle of scenes
Yes.
with new characters, and
Sure.
you don't know who they are. You don't know what their purpose is. You don't know how they relate, because it'll be like him and somebody selling hamburgers at a corner shop, and it's just we don't know either of these people.
No.
So that's why it's jarring at first, because you're like, who the fuck is this?
It's Creeper.
Yeah.
Creeper,
It's Creeper the hamburger
junkie.
pimp.
The hamburger pimp, who is Mr. Mumbles trying to order food, and the lady at the food truck is just like,
Chuck. There's no such thing as a talking junkie.
okay, you do your Mr. Show jokes, that's fine, I will play along. But she's just increasingly annoyed with him babbling about nothing, and we have no idea what he's saying, and she's just like, take this food, just get out of here, go away. And he does, and he wanders down the street for a while to like what seems like a hamburger junkie theme song, for as he just kind of stumbles and dances down the street.
He's
Then-
doing a hamburger junkie
yeah,
jig.
and then just cuts away from him and goes to Dolemite, who's somewhere else, and we're like, what in the living hell was that all about?
Yeah. Yeah, and Dolemite's getting out of his car, and there's a crowd of guys who are just like, hey, man, is that Dolemite? That's Dolemite, isn't it? And then they go over to Dolemite, and they're like, are you Dolemite? And he's like, fuck yeah, I'm Dolemite.
Look
Fuck
at my
you.
clothes.
Yeah,
look at my
me.
cane. Yeah.
I'm wearing a fucking pimp outfit. Who the fuck you think I am? And
He's
they're like,
come
well,
see my show tomorrow night.
yeah, and they're like, well, you got to prove it. How do we know you're Dolemite? And he's like, I ain't got to prove shit to you. And they're
Pictures
like, well,
did not exist in
yeah,
1975.
and the guy's like, well, I got to bet. I got to bet with him that you're Dolemite, and I can't afford to lose that bet.
It's my last $5.
So the way he proves it is he starts doing his Rudy
One of his
Ray Moore,
Dolomite bits, yeah.
Dolemite
tells the story of the Titanic.
Tells the
Yes.
story of a
In rhyme.
gentleman on the Titanic.
Okay. But it's the story of the Titanic.
Sure.
Kinda.
I don't think
Fine.
so.
It's the story of a man set against the backdrop of the Titanic disaster.
Okay, yes. Well,
And man, do they love it. They are so on board for this, which is just basically rhyming something with ass and something with motherfucker every verse of this story.
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't
Chuck.
put the entire ones in the quote
Chuck,
section.
Chuck,
because I
Chuck.
wanted to read some of it, but
And Monet was just a bunch of dots.
Okay. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you
What?
right there. Okay. Obviously, we've talked about this movie a lot in the past, and I'd seen it before. And we got up until that point, I'm watching this and I'm going, wow, I was wrong. This is kind of goofy fun and really kind of entertaining in a horribly bad way. And then it got to this scene, and I remembered why I hate that guy, because of his stage routine is the worst. Like, I wanted to reach into the screen and grab people and say, stop laughing at that. Stop applauding him. Stop encouraging him from doing that. Because it goes on forever, and it has nothing to do with this movie.
yep.
It's just to sell albums in the lobby. It's terrible.
I will admit it goes on for way too long.
Grinds the movie to a halt.
Yeah,
a
because
complete halt.
every time we think the story's over, he continues with the story. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is like it has to be a 5-minute scene at least of just him talking while they cut to reaction shots of dudes.
Yep. And they're all high-fiving each other and just laughing and
Yeah.
having a great time. Like, this is just the best comedy routine of all time, and it's just not. It is not. I'm sorry.
It's a product of its time, Chuck.
all right. Okie
That
dokie.
is an artist at work, and you are discounting it.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Yeah, you kind of are, Chuck.
I certainly am. But that eventually he walks out of that scene into a much later period of time where he bumps into Hamburger Pimp.
Right.
And that's finally why we were introduced to him 15 minutes ago, is because that he was...
This is the scene that goes on for way too long,
Well-
because it's, basically he more or less, the information that's more or less garnered in a very short period of time is like, hey, I think I was somewhere and I think I saw your cousin get shot.
Yeah.
And
I was coming out of the pawn shop. I saw it happen. I know everything.
And he's just like, all right, well, I guess I'll take care of your habit if you tell me the whole story.
Yeah.
Probably not the best planning on Dolemite's part, because he drives him to his place, back to his land of squalor and junkies. Lets him go into his room.
Waits for the guy to shoot up.
Yeah, straps
and
in,
then starts
straps in,
asking
shoots in, and then
questions.
is like, "Hey,
Talk.
talk." And much like cocaine has a short shelf life. Let's just say that heroin has pretty fast acting.
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
so than Tinactin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets right to
That's
you.
why you
Yeah.
put it in the
That-
vein.
that's
Yeah.
why you shoot it, because you get it right away. And he gets it right away. And then
Yeah.
Dolomite's like, you son of a bitch. You're high, aren't you? And it's like,
why aren't you telling me
you
this?
watched him.
Yeah, it's like, Dolomite, you know how drugs work,
You
right?
provided him with the drugs, and then you
Yeah.
watched him shoot up, and now you're upset that he's not talking. So he kind of starts beating the living fuck out of him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Starts strangling the dude.
yeah.
Is that what happens when you do a marijuana?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. Don't you worry.
No, this isn't as bad.
This is
It's not nearly as bad.
Oh, no.
But then all of a sudden, dudes just bust in and shoot him.
yeah.
And then Rudy Ray Moore has to, fight them off. And he kind of hits
On the
one,
script, it said,
Yeah.
Dolomite fights off these guys.
hits one, gets the gun away from the other, and shoots the other one. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you hear sirens going, and it's the two cops
Yeah.
again who come in, and they're just like, all right, Dolomite, we got you this time. You're
Well, this is
murder
funny.
one.
This is funny because it's a kind of actually a crime has happened. And the crooked cops bust in and they're like, okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the
yeah,
charge?
what's the charge?
The guy's like, it's a goddamn massacre, Dolomite.
It's only one gun here, and you're still holding it.
Yeah. He kind of got you red-handed.
Yeah, and then literally, there's blood on your hands. That's right.
You're the only one alive and holding a gun and not shot.
So then he just puts his hands forward. He's like, all right, oh, okay.
Yep.
So next scene is him in jail, and at this point, we've kind of been introduced to the. There's other stuff that's happened in between where it's
Sure.
he's had gross sex a couple times. We've been introduced to the preacher, who is apparently selling guns and weapons.
He's more or less inciting a revolution.
I think he's stockpiling the guns
Yeah. But the cops...
Instead of preaching, he's inciting a revolution. Yeah.
for the Third World War.
But then the cops
Fourth
come
World
in.
War. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but then the cops come in, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, so guns, huh? Mm-hmm. All right,
Well, if you see Dolemite, let us know.
yeah." Kinda like,
Bye.
yeah. It's weird that they're like, "All right, well, yeah, we got you busted on this, but
Well, there's a line that's said that's interesting. It's said by, I won't try to repeat it, but, you know, there's a reason where he's just like, well, there's nothing wrong here.
Yeah, the guy gives an explanation for why the guns are there.
The cops are crooked and they're just playing along, but they're like, all right, yeah, that sounds legit.
yeah, sure.
But, just
I didn't see anything. You
just
see
tell
anything?
us, tell us if Dolemite comes to visit.
Yeah, if you see him, let him know.
These are basically I don't know where the preacher and his crew really, like, where their alliance falls. Because someone actually, later in the movie, directly asks them, who are you supporting, Willie Green or Dolemite? And he never really gives an answer. So I don't,
yeah,
yeah. I'm just saying,
It's not made clear.
this is the part I was speaking of earlier. I don't,
Yeah.
these are the only people I'm really, like, it's not clear that they're,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote good or bad guys.
No.
yeah." And we've been introduced to this cop who is actually asking the preacher. He's like, "Whose side are you on? What are you doing?"
Right.
And then he goes and visits Dolemite in prison, and he's just like, "Hey, trying to help you here."
Yeah.
He's like, "You're just a cop working for the man."
Yeah, we the viewers are kind of like, okay, this must be the legendary
guy.
FBI guy because they've said there was one. But yeah, he's like, he kind of comes into the prison as kind of immediately an asshole to Dolemite. Does nothing to really like sell the like, hey, you should trust me.
Yeah, no.
It's like he talks to him and Dolemite's just like, you're a fucking cop, get out of here. And then as he's leaving, like a guy was like building like a house of cards with dominoes, and the cop just as he's walking out, he's just like, ding, he knocks those over, and
Flicks
like,
one of
it's just
them.
like, well, that was mean.
And then the guy's
Why?
like, son of a bitch, and knocks over the rest of them.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then, like, moments later, it's like, Dolemite, you're free to go.
Yeah.
He's like, okay,
Bail's
cool.
been posted.
Sweet. Yeah.
And it's the girl that left that was mentioned in
Yeah.
speech
Yes.
in the exposition club.
Special lady.
Yeah. And so
And
yeah,
they go have the sex.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, you're always my favorite. Give me a kiss, and then cut to sex, and
This scene is so weird because at first
yeah.
there's like a jump cut in it where it's like, oh, they cut out the sex. That's odd.
yeah, with no transition, no like cut to a fireplace, nothing.
Yeah.
Just like
And then it's just a bunch of Willie Green over and over again. And then Dolemite gets mad and smacks her around a little bit. And then he's just like, I'm going to fuck you real good.
Yeah.
And then
We thought he had sexed her to death.
He did. Possibly.
she shows up later.
Okay, yeah, because she does show up later.
He
but
sexes her to
she doesn't-
near death.
She doesn't show up for a while,
No, right.
and
You're right.
and like I was like, did he actually kind of kill her, or what happened in that scene? It was
He Dolemite have killed her.
Yeah, because I mean, they cut to. I mean, one of the camera frames is from her point of view, looking up at him.
Yeah.
That is the first person Rudy Ray Moore fucking is the worst.
No, that's second person.
Yeah.
The third.
Oh,
like,
that's yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's like point of view of Rudy Ray Moore on top of you.
That's
is
the
just
fucky,
like-
not the fucker.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like that. No, this is not what I want. This is not what anyone
No.
wants.
It's what Rudy Ray Moore wants.
Yeah, it's like, oh, get the shot of me making my sex faces.
yeah.
And they're all grunting and it's
So
just-
we're all just getting increasingly more uncomfortable as the scene is going on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
especially because they cut the sex out of the first part, which was so odd, and this
Yeah.
is so explicitly disturbing.
Yeah, including like it flips the perspective. Like
Yeah.
you're him, you're her, you're him, you're her. And then
Yeah.
stop this, and then yeah,
And she's just silent screaming on the bed. She's just, it's like, oh well,
I was pretty sure he killed her.
all right.
I
Yeah,
was glad she showed up later because I thought he killed her.
yeah.
yeah.
It
Well,
was kind of
Dolemite, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What happens next? Is it the mayor party?
Sure,
Yeah.
why
Alright,
not?
whatever.
That happens after that.
Yeah, at some point, the mayor's having a party saying, "Yeah, my hands are clean. I'm the best mayor."
Right.
And
Wait, hold on.
This guy, okay.
Hold on. He is introduced at this swanky party by a lady who says he has done more for black people than anyone else ever. And we're like
this is in 1975.
yeah, and it's like, who's coming in? Who's it going to be? What civil rights leader is this? No, it's the mayor of whatever shitty town this is.
And
The
Mayor-
shitty mayor.
Balding,
The shitty
white,
town.
Danny DeVito-sized mayor.
yeah. Speaking like Harvey Firestein,
Oh,
just like, hi, everybody, I'm the mayor, and I love all you people, and
He makes a Nixon joke. He's like, what?
Yeah. There's several of those in this. It's really
That's funny, right?
not dating yourself.
And then he's just like, yeah, these hands, when you elect me, they'll still be clean when you re-elect me.
Yeah.
All right,
It's like,
Meanwhile,
yay, great.
Meanwhile, Willie Green has showed up outside.
Yeah.
Actually, physically in the flesh, Willie Green
he
has
like
appeared.
pulled up and he knocks on the door and the butler answers and he's like, "Get me that motherfucker out here now. I need to talk to the mayor."
Oh no, the mayor does not
Yeah.
accept
like,
unannounced guests.
He's like, "You fucking tell him Willie Green's here."
oh, okay.
oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
and then he basically, I don't know, he just confronts the mayor, and it's like Willie Green is the unofficial leader of the fourth ward, and the mayor, I guess, looks to him to keep everything in line and also keep the drugs and crime going.
And he's like, basically, "Hey, Dolemite came in and he's fucking my stuff up, man."
Oh, that's right, because that's what it was. That's what prompted it. Is Dolemite goes, we should have mentioned that's the scene that right after he has the kill sex with the lady. He goes, he basically. We'll go back to it in just a second, but yeah, basically he's like, Dolemite's taking over, and I need your help. We gotta kill him. And the mayor's like, yeah, well, we sprung him from jail so that we could kill him. So just sit tight. So it's like the mayor's in on this whole springing Dolemite from
Yeah,
jail thing.
it's kind of
Great plan.
It's kind of the death warrant thing
Yeah,
where it's like,
a little bit.
yeah, we got that guy there,
Let's get
so
him-
that we could take care of that
Yeah.
guy. And it's like, well, you could have taken care of that guy
Yeah.
out in prison.
to be
You could
fair-
have just let him go and not set him up with this big explanation of
Yeah.
we want you to uncover the crime.
Well, to be fair, I don't think it was as much of like an understood cliche that you could like get an inside guy in a prison for cheap.
No, not
to
even
murder
that.
somebody.
I'm just
I know he
saying-
was stuck in prison. He couldn't do anything. per
But
se.
you could also let him out if your intent was to kill him, but not set it up with we want you to uncover the mystery of crime that is happening.
Sure, yeah, true. Okay, I'll get
Because
it.
he is now one step away from uncovering everything, even though he's done no actual investigating
right.
whatsoever. Every answer
Chuck,
he gets just falls in his goddamn lap.
It's a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah.
There are
That's
better
what
ones.
That's what happens in 95% of them. If you haven't been paying attention,
Oh, I've been paying attention.
Yes, almost every one of them. It doesn't matter what they investigate.
Right.
The clue will fall into their lap somehow, or they'll just wander into the place where they're supposed to be.
I just
Look, not really important. Let's Dolemite
Yes, we are
flashback.
we are trying to apply logic to Dolemite.
Yeah,
also.
let's Dolemite flashback back to the scene that's actually important, where Dolemite essentially goes back into his club that he once owned, that's now owned by Mr. Green, and says, I want my club back. Now, he doesn't say a word. First, he just kind of walks in, and he has a key that he's obtained from one of his ladies, walks right back into the club, starts ripping up the carpet, and apparently unlocks a floor safe that had perfectly $50,000, which is what he owed Willie Green.
Right.
Walks out to those people, throws the money at them, and says, this is my club now. Tell Willie Green he's got 24 hours to get out of it. 23 of those hours are already gone.
Yep.
Yep. And then instant Donnybrook.
Yeah.
Just like get him. And
Yeah.
Dolemite kind of beats them up.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But that is a fantastic line.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
There are a few good ones in
It
there.
deserved a better actor, but as a line, it's great. Yeah.
But yes, so basically he's just taken over the club. So Willie Green's gone to see the mayor. I'm flashing back forward, and now it's just kind of like it's time. We've had some mild hyping along the way. It's time for the Dolemite, total experience club extravaganza. Which
Total
is
Dolemite experience.
there's a band, and then there's some ladies that come to show up, and it's basically the pimp funeral. Like people just kind of show up in their pimp best.
Well, they sent
regalia.
out invitations. Queen Bee sent out written invitations
Sure.
to all their friends across the country.
They were probably fur-lined invitations.
And she introduces two of them in the crowd, both from Columbus, Ohio.
Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland, Ohio. Big difference.
But it is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the two special guests.
Cleveland's the home of pimpin'. Didn't you
Is it?
know?
Well, book me a one-way train ticket to Cleveland.
There you go.
Yeah,
When you think big pimpin', you think Cleveland.
I do. I
There's
do
lots
actually.
of pimping in Cleveland.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's the Dolemite Total Experience time, which involves a band
A lady singing.
And
Yep.
a lady singing.
And then African dance music troupe,
Yep.
which are introduced as the Dolemite dancers. I mean, I'm assuming this is just a routine that they've done. This is not there all the time, because it basically sets up the then performance of Dolemite.
Yes, because he appears behind one of the dancers who has a smoking cauldron of some kind. And in this scene, Dolemite is wearing, 17 capes. Because he keeps taking capes off. Or people are taking them away for him. But he's never not wearing a cape. They just keep appearing on him. And he does more of his bullshit comedy routine.
His brilliant comedy routine, this time about some things in the jungle.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a great scene. It's not a waste of 5 minutes at all.
No.
It's totally fantastic.
There's a man at the top of his art game doing what he does. best.
Absolutely. Yes. Honing his craft, you might say.
Yeah.
And we all benefit.
Preserving it on film for
Absolutely.
posterity.
Yes. That's what should happen. Because vinyl, who
it's
knew?
Dead. Anyway. But yes, this happens, and then essentially it's like, okay, Willie Green also showed up to this club, and it's time to more or less fight.
Well, Willie,
He watches the show.
he
Yeah.
watches the show, and then Dolemite, comes off the stage, just going around saying hello to everybody, and he sits down and he talks with Willie, and Willie's like, all right, listen.
Yeah,
Take my-
Willie summons him from the back.
Listen, I'll let you run the club, but I still own the club. And also, you owe me $100,000. I don't want your piddly 50.
Actually, I think he says, forget the $100,000 if you do this. Otherwise, you owe me $100,000 as interest for this club.
Yeah.
To which Dolemite,
Thank you all for coming.
says, thank you all for coming.
But fuck you.
Fuck you.
And gets up and leaves. And that's when they're like, okay,
Yeah.
game on. Time to bust this place up.
Yeah, pretty much. They're just like, let's
Yeah.
bounce this place. Come
Yeah.
on.
And just
Yeah,
like,
if I can't have this
instantly-
club, nobody has this club.
Yeah. And just dudes are flying in off camera. It's just like, okay, karate time. Like the girls were all seated in the front row and they just don't even get out of their chairs as they turn around and start kicking people.
Yeah. It's a crazy Donnybrook. Dolemite fights in the dark so that we can't see how bad he fights.
They keep picking on the chef for some reason.
The chef, I think, there was somebody in the credits about being a karate expert because that chef was really good.
I know.
Yeah.
But
So-
they could have given him a better role than that because it doesn't make sense why they were like, get the chef.
There was they probably just made him the chef in the club because he brought him in for that one day.
He could have been a bouncer.
I know, whatever. He fights a guy and burns him on the stove and all this stuff. And Anyway,
Yeah. Meanwhile, Willie Green has gone up to Dolemite's dressing room or whatever, and they end up fighting in there because that's where Dolemite went.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just fighting all over the place. But so they have a fist fight in the dark, pretty much. And then it gets a little bit incoherent because
you hear like a gunshot that's like sounds like it's very much 80. Well, everything was pretty much 80 yard sound effects wise, but it sounds like extra. Like, oh, I guess we should probably add this than some of the other stuff because they don't bother to even show it. And then it just kind of like the lights are back up. Dolemite's you see like a close up shot of like Dolemite grab Willie Green and like kind of like Indiana Jones Temple of Doom him in the chest or something.
Yeah.
And
then
then
Willie
it's
Green just immediately goes, ah!
And then it's like hard cut. Dolemite's just standing straight up with like a bullet wound on his shoulder, and then it like looks down and Willie Green's stomach is all torn up.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of sort of ripped his guts out.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then the cop or the
That's
FBI guy
man
comes in,
yeah.
and now it's like they're friends because he's just like, hey. He's
Good
like,
job.
well, this is gonna look bad for you. Blam blam. Shoots him twice. It's like, well, it's on me now. So
See you later, Dolemite. Thanks.
yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, you better go get it patched up.
Yeah.
And the way this plays out, it's like it feels like the end of the movie, but really the big bads and the cops didn't really pay for it. So it's like, oh shit, I guess there's another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, the FBI agent goes to get the mayor.
Yeah.
And there's a good 10 minutes of naked mayor on the phone.
Well, because like this is where the I was going to remember her name. The lady who had the death sex. Yes, the strumpet from the death sex is back. She's alive.
death sex strumpet.
Strumpet. Yeah.
That's a great name right there.
That's my whole cover band.
Yeah. She has the sex with the mayor.
Yeah.
And then the mayor gets a phone call.
She and another woman are having sex with the mayor.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
There's another woman in the bed.
Oh, that's right.
He
because,
climbs
yeah,
out of
that
the
happens
bed.
later. But
And he's like, "Oh, what happened?"
he gets a phone call while the sex is happening, and it's just a phone call of grunting, and
Yeah, all on his end.
it's just yeah, and then he's just like fine.
Like I said, this is when like Danny DeVito version of him showed up, because when he rolls out of bed, it's just like everything is like effort,
Right. Yeah. So he
But
kind of puts
this
the towel
actor
on.
had no shame whatsoever.
Nope.
Because they're just like, and it's one take, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Like
yeah.
once he walks out into the hallway bare-assed,
Yeah.
and he goes into a room, grabs a towel, and basically throws it over his shoulder and down low enough to cover his junk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Barely.
then just
But
he
thank
gets
God.
on a phone like just inside a doorway, and he keeps like peeking out of the doorway.
Yeah.
Like he was walking out like, I'm going to show you my junk. I might show you my junk.
Yep.
Maybe I'm going to show you my junk.
Yeah. A little something for the ladies.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, then Death Sex Strumpet comes out with a gun, and because she's hurt. Well, yeah, he just put the hit out on Dolemite.
Right.
main man Dolemite.
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, you
she-
motherfucker!"
Yeah, she like backs him up with the gun into the bathroom and is going to shoot him.
She's like, it's gonna be my pleasure to shoot you on the throne.
Yeah, this is this. I've been living
Yeah.
for this. And then like one of the other strumpets that was in the room decides to come out and like try to attack her, and
Heel strumpet.
she's like, bitch, no, throws her in like the closet and just like apparently shoots her in the head, because it's just kind of like
Yeah.
that's where she's holding the gun level. And then that's the mayor's like, this is my chance, and jumps out and then strangles her, so she is dead. Like
Yeah.
literally just climbs on top of her and strangles her to death.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
gross.
It is gross.
And then he flees,
Yeah.
Yeah, he tries to
packs
flee.
his shit and
and that's when FBI agent is coming after him.
Right, and is shooting at him and
Yeah.
like sort of hard chasey.
Well, he gets out to by the pool, and two
Right.
dudes we've never seen before come up, and they're just like, "Hey." They hold him at gunpoint, and they're just like, "Yeah, well, you're end of the road here for you, buddy."
They were
It's
the
like-
other two cops in the opening scene with the stolen furs,
Okay.
because there were four cops. Remember, like there was like, go hide behind that
Yeah.
tree. It's those
Okay.
two guys.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not make that connection
Hey,
at all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but so they're basically like, yeah, they got a big needle, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna shoot you up with the marijuana, and
Oh,
Totally.
no.
that'll
Yep.
kill you.
The
and
liquid
they'll
marijuana.
find you of an
Oh, no.
overdose in the pool."
Yeah. Which,
It's
by
gonna
the
give
way,
him the weeds.
is my favorite '70s ploy of all time, which is
So that would be a croquet mount.
they make it look like an overdose. They go get drugs from somebody and shoot up someone, and that's going to be like the way to get rid of them. It happened in Slaughter. And it's just like it's the dumbest. It's
great.
so stupid. It's like, oh, it's going to look like an overdose, and then you fell in a pool. It's like, well, you could shoot him and push him off a roof, or throw him into a turbine or
all
something.
the
I don't
while
know.
he's basically going like, there goes your boss with all money things, like turn around.
He keeps trying to
Turn
do that
around.
look
Hey,
over there.
Look over there. And they're like, nah, we're not buying that.
But after
but
like
it's the
the
one
third
time there actually is something over.
I
there.
know. It's he's actually like, no, really, it's your boss. And
Yeah.
they're like, what? And then throws fat guy into the pool and pushes other guy over. And
Yeah, and then he basically chases after the mayor, and the mayor is like very determined. I'm going to get on this plane.
Yep.
And get the fuck out of here. Like I've got a suitcase of drugs and money and things to get out of here.
whatever the mayor needs.
And he shoots him from I don't know, like 50 yards away.
Yeah.
And the mayor's just like, ow! But I still gotta get in the plane.
Yeah.
He's like that guy in the western that just won't die.
Yeah.
Yep.
This plane. I have boarding passes. They called my 9 group.
Yep.
I'm getting on this plane.
Yeah.
Star Alliance members may board now.
Yeah, so FBI guy shoots him, I don't know, like 17 times, and then the mayor's finally dead.
Yep.
So,
Finally.
Yeah. And then
And-
you think it's over.
He goes to visit Dolemite
Yeah.
in the hospital. He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, the hit's still out on you, so we're gonna have to deal with that."
Yeah, we're gonna do a thing where we'll have wanted, like I think it was Chicago or whatever.
Shy,
Shy.
yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have her pose as a nurse and then change your room number.
Which, by the way, she was already dressed as a nurse.
Yes, she was.
Which was odd, but whatever, it worked.
Hey, Shy do what Shy wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just came from a previous job.
That's true.
Yeah. She was doing nurse strumpet for the day.
Yeah.
Nurse strumpet to the OR, please. Nurse strumpet. It's much more pleasant than nurse ratchet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like they're basically like, oh yeah, they try to be clever. They're like, hey, we're visiting our friend Dolemite. He's in like room 2018, right? And she's like, oh, actually, I think he's in 2010. And they're like, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
ticket.
that's
Thanks,
it.
lady.
Yeah.
You're so nice.
Yeah. So they do the like. Of course they do. They open the door and because everybody sleeps in a bed with the covers completely over
Maybe
their
it was
head.
really cold.
With the lights completely on.
Yes. And so they of course shoot the pillows on the bed that are there, and Dolemite and company jump out and beat these guys to death, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
and slash shoot him. So, and then it's just kind of like, boom, jump forward in time, and FBI guy and Dolemite are there.
Well, no, wait a minute. Wait.
Oh,
So,
what?
no, the hitmen all get shot. Mm-hmm. And then, like, FBI guy and Dolemite are like,
right.
hey, well, that was kind of neat. And then the FBI guy is like, I'm going to go over here. He's standing, the way the room is set up, he's basically standing in a corner. But because it's off camera, they want us to think he's exited the room somehow. But he's really literally standing in the corner of the room. Because then the two crooked cops come in, and they're like, well, Dolemite, another massacre. I guess we're going to have to take you to jail now. Yeah. And then he just sort of walks out into frame like, haha, I'm here, and you guys are crooked, so therefore you will go to jail. Mm-hmm. And then he has people violently arrest them.
Yeah. Well, they kind of complain about it.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. They're like, you never get away with this. And it's like, yeah, I think the FBI will get away with it. I kind of think they will.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they jump ahead.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, hey, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I'll be back. Yeah. Freeze frame and play song.
Yeah. Song, which starts to tell what he will be doing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dolemite will return in the Human Tornado.
Human Tornado.
Tornado.
Yeah.
Ah, wow.
Movie.
That was a long half. Stargrove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps that the whole soundtrack's awesome.
Yeah.
Just like
Don Cornelius.
I mean, not even song wise, but like when the hitmen are walking down the hallway to shoot the fake Dolemite, the way they just are pumping in this sort of guitar and doing it well. It's not just some piece of stock music. It's actually someone scoring it. That's done pretty well.
Yep.
Well, it's also when the cop in the very first scene, not very first scene, but like the one where they're harassing him right after he gets out of jail, like they're punctuating stuff he's saying in the soundtrack right behind it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good stuff like that.
Yeah, but there is actually some, by the book Stargrove things.
Yes.
Dolemite tells you his story during the opening credits.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, ratings, right? Rest of the ratings.
Yeah, rest of them.
Anyone?
Why don't you go first?
I'll go.
Someone
All right,
who
I
isn't
can go
me.
too. So
I'm gonna go 3 jocks. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. Like it's goofy. It's stupid. The fighting is terrible. There's boom mics that show up all the time.
A lot.
Yeah, it's like you see the genesis of a movie like Black Dynamite, where they're like, okay, yeah, we're doing everything that they did in this movie.
Yep.
Just crazier. But yeah, the only two scenes that I really am just like, fuck this whole thing, are Rudy Ray Moore's monologues, which are likely from his stage act, I'm assuming.
yeah, they are.
Yeah. So those are the only ones where I'm just like, this can fuck off. But otherwise, great soundtrack, a lot of goofy characters, and just it's hard to explain. Like, I like him, yet I don't like him. Like, it's kind of like I wonder what it would be like without somebody else, but then I realized that it wouldn't be very much fun to watch this movie with somebody other than him.
It depends
in
on
that
what
role.
Rudy Ray Moore showed up on the set that day. Because there's the one who gives no fucks whatsoever. There's one who's kind of into it, and then there's one who's like, I get to perform today.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the scene, which Rudy Ray Moore you get. So,
But yeah, this is definitely a hell of a lot of fun. So I say 3 jocks.
Yep. I will give it 2 jocks. Because I can say, okay, you can sit down and have fun with this. Just be aware that there's about 15 minutes of this movie that could fuck right off. Like there's goofy fun in this movie, and then there's about 15 minutes that really just they could have cut out and set on fire.
And you'd be fine with it.
I would be totally fine with it because it's so weird in comparison to last week's movie. I know last week's movie was completely disjointed, but the scenes that they showed were actually the entire meat of the plot. They weren't just random to and from sequences. This movie feels like the random to and from sequences. It's like if you took like the setups of this movie and merged them with the action of the last movie, you would have an actually fleshed out movie. Because this movie is just like, there will be people having a conversation for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden Dolemite is standing there. It's like he hasn't entered the room; he just appears.
Yeah. Well, what's weird about this one too is he will they'll tell you a story about something, or they'll start to tell a story, and then they'll actually show the story.
Yeah.
Like most movies, it's like, all right, well, we're saving on the budget by just not bothering to show you that. They're like, nah, we're going to show you this,
Right?
Because why the fuck not?
Yeah. Yep. And it was making me laugh too. How many times there will be like a close up of two people talking, and then they cut to a wide shot, and those two people are not even close to where they were standing in the close up, just opposite sides of the room, and it's
The
like
editing is a goddamn mess.
It's
Yeah.
so it's sloppy, but there's enough goofy fun in it to say, yeah, you should probably watch it.
And to think you never wanted to watch this, Chuck.
I still don't.
Chuck.
I don't think you know how the ratings work then.
I don't know, man. It was really kind of difficult for me to get into this movie because it was fits and starts of greatness. Like the one-liners were probably some of my favorite in the blaxploitation movies that we've seen so far. But if you could take Rudy Ray Moore out and replace him with like Steve James,
Yes, go on.
Same movie, just Steve James, somebody that's consistent and has personality, and some glee and a hell of a lot more ass kicking skill. I think you have like a Four Jocks movie. As it stands, I'm kind of in between a 1 and a 2, and I'm not sure where I can land on that except to just be generous and give it 2. I will say it is like Mackie mentioned. You can see where Black Dynamite got its like this was the movie they did research on to
There's a lot
to do
of
Black Dynamite.
Genesis of that.
So to understand Black Dynamite, I think it would be important to see this movie. And also to hear some of the best motherfuckers committed to film, I guess.
Oh yeah, I was saying before, like he can put a period at the end of a sentence.
Yeah,
like he can end a sentence like, okay, yep, drop the mic, you're done.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to land on a 3 Jocks too. But I really enjoyed this. The things that kind of break it for me is the way the ending, like they needed some restructuring in the ending more than anything. I mean, because I like the build-up of not showing Willie Green very much. I mean, and intentional or busy being director aside, I don't know if it's just a byproduct or they were like, wait, it'll be just cool if we have just people like basically being your hype man the whole movie.
Right.
But then like for him to kind of buy it first, like to die first and, you know, and apparently there are other edits where it's a little more gruesome, his death, out there. But I mean, for like him to go first and then it's like, okay, now the mayor who really is probably pretty high on orchestrating this, and then the scumbag cops who really, I mean, it seems like kind of like a broken order.
Yeah.
Like it should have
Like
gone,
scumbag
it should have
cops,
been
mayor, and then
Willie Green.
Willie Green.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, it should
like
have escalated.
yeah. I mean, Willie Green should have been the final fight.
Should have kicked him off the top of a skyscraper or something.
Yeah. So like it's weird
He
because
did
like
rip his liver out.
yeah. So it's a weird reverse order of how the ending should have gone down, but like yeah, the punctuation and just the one-liners and the motherfuckers and just like the way he was delivering that shit is so good, and I really like the music. And I know this is gonna sound strange because of like all the boom mics and kind of like people inadvertently looking at the camera. This is like the first one that I know because it goes in the series of Down and Dirty blaxploitation. This is the first one I almost felt like these could be real people. I mean, they're actors maybe not doing it so right, but like this was the first one where I was like, this, besides Dolemite himself being this god among everything, above everyone that everyone's just like has this reverence for, it's like everyone else felt like real people on the street in real situations. Yeah, some stilted dialogue and things like that, but it was just weird. I felt like for the first time, maybe we were transported to 1970s Los Angeles, where everything else was maybe a little too clean, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, true. I would like to give a huge honorable mention to the motherfucking cars in this movie, which are fucking gorgeous.
And huge.
And huge, yeah. Like, many things that I like about cars. So, big, ostentatious, giant pieces of steel.
Yep. Death machine.
And there's a small car chase in the towards the end of this movie. And I would like to give it an E for effort.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea how to shoot a car chase, but they try. They for sure try. And there's an interior shot of
It's like
a car.
at least a quarter of the battle, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good point of view. Like, you're getting a sense of speed.
But the camera was just shaking fucking everywhere and just going haywire.
Yeah.
But like, they gave it a shot, and they gave it a shot at speed. You know, like they went for it. So
yeah, they didn't speed up the film or do anything
right.
stupid.
They didn't, none of that garbage.
Yeah.
So, you know, a couple little nice touches there.
Yeah. Besides Black Diamond, I would say this also highly influenced like Pootie Tang.
Yes.
And Undercover Brother too.
Yeah, especially with like the sort of legendary bit to it.
Yeah.
But
All right.
Undercover. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Like when
Especially with
when,
the enormous cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Eddie Griffin, when like he was doing blaxploitation comedy stuff, it was obviously he had a reverence for Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, break time.
Break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Break.
Break
Okay.
it up. You all right?
Yes,
I'm not gonna hit the computer.
my bones.
It's a computer.
Hey, kids. Yay.
Don't touch your computer.
There's a computer.
And what's in that closet? R. Kelly?
Business.
Can I look in your closet? You may. I was going to.
Don't look in the closet.
But no, it's not over there.
What are we gonna do?
Actual honest to God.
Z-
And the pool. But I thought it was in that closet. It might be, but it's not usually out.
Hey, everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us for this first week of Blaxploitation History Month. We appreciate you very, very much. Thanks, everybody. Anyone in the chat have any questions? You know, chit-chatting and whatnot.
Woo!
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 Man.
Man.
You got any movies, Chuck? I got one. I can talk about another thing, too, just real quick.
Yeah, what? What's happening? What's going on out there? What? Huh?
What?
Huh?
What?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm wondering where my boom mic is.
Yeah.
Where's my boom mic?
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Boom mic.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Yeah, this is mostly the DVD closet. Sadly.
Yeah.
I just don't work that kind of stuff. Huh?
Are you saying things again?
That might be.
Podcast.
Podcast.
Woo! Woo!
So
So, I got like 1.5 movies.
All right.
I have
One will be
Really
real
short.
short.
a motion picture. What?
really, Daisy
Yeah.
Fuentes?
Yes. You ever see that infomercial where she's standing in a pool the whole time?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good.
No,
I would.
It's really good.
I'd watch that.
I'd
Daisy
spirit her quest.
Yeah.
Fuentes.
Fuentes. Hazy.
But yeah, we got some emails.
Yep. Is there voicemails or anything I need to pull up while I'm doing that kind of thing?
I don't think there are.
I don't think so. I don't know. Let me check.
All right.
Flagged. There's that art
Yeah,
More
that's-
fart.
Yeah, we got some
We're
sweet
Oh
fart.
shit! Some more fart.
Yeah.
More fart.
Is it from the official fartist?
No.
No.
Substitute fartist.
What?
New
Yeah.
artist. Yeah, it's good stuff.
You don't watch me type passwords, internet.
Oh, somebody's gonna decode it, aren't
They
they?
could. They could frame by frame
Hmm.
get all the sweet fart.
Yes.
They could intercept our fart.
Yep. Sweet fart.
And we never see it.
Such a sweet fart.
Yeah, my-
Okay. I just checked.
I finally got the fart to put on my avatar. That's,
Yeah,
for-
you
for
just
Twitter.
farted right on your avatar.
yeah.
Good job.
I'll get that fart ready to go with the right spelling, I think. Nope. Yeah, it is.
You're loaded to bear.
Just making sure I had the right spelling. I had to think about spelling for a second. Spelling's hard, okay?
Yeah, the bottom one's the right one. Top
Okay.
one is not.
Yeah, you're
Turn
right.
on the live stream long enough to watch it. I think I can.
I could just show it to you.
You could.
I like how you're peeking in. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, I'm that DreamWorks character. It's just like, hey, I'm Joe Pesci.
I'm over there. I got legs.
You're like a Terry Gilliam cartoon. It's just like, I'm over here. That's
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know mine was when I'd posted on Twitter before.
Must be.
I was pointing at a giant Lego thing.
I have. Well, do I have headphones on? In mine? No,
Well, I'm at Dragon Con because I'm wearing
Yep,
a
all right.
lanyard.
I think that's.
Is that Summer Glau picture? I don't know. That's some dedication. Dedication.
yeah.
Might be that, or I don't know. Malcolm McDowell. Somebody I posted. I took pictures with. I
Lloyd-
mean,
Lloyd
Terrence
Kaufman.
Stamp. Terrence Stamp. Could
Yeah.
be Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
Oh, Terrence Stamp.
Yeah, Terrence Stamp.
Yeah. He robbed a bank.
Oi. Oh, rolled the bike.
No. You idiot, that's Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's Brendan Gleeson.
Are those from the website?
Smoking the Bandits, Brendan?
Are they? I think that would be the most easy explanation. Do we have
Yeah.
do we have an about?
Do we have
Jesus, do we
pictures?
have an about page?
I don't know. I've never.
I don't
Well,
know.
it can't be. Those
I
are
know that picture isn't on.
I've never.
yeah,
been to the
and
website,
those are my
so-
new glasses. So I mean, it's somewhat recent. So I'm kind of worried about the stalkerish quality of this fart.
I'm gonna.
That's fine.
This fart snuck right up on
Wait,
us.
I just bought this shirt today.
The fartist is behind you.
It's a reference.
The fartist is
fartist-
farting from inside the house.
Somebody has seen that movie because I recommended it, so somebody will get that joke. Someone out there.
Oh.
Well, maybe not because it's a live stream. This
Who
may
the
be
fuck are you?
My movie is not recent, so if anyone has more recent, please go ahead.
Mine's like 2010. Yes.
Okay, that's newer than mine.
Are we?
Oh, we're still doing that?
Are we Jeff Bridges?
Yeah. Put us in your ears before you go to sleep. Dreaming with BMFcast.
You guys are doing pretty good with that. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I spent 74 years in a monastery in
Turkish
Tibet.
prison.
I spent 7 years in Tibet.
I started to say 7 years in Tibet, and I decided not to make that joke.
I didn't.
Yep. He just threw it right out there.
I sure
Here's a
did.
joke.
Here's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Mm-hmm.
There he goes.
There's that guy.
There.
He just made a pit stop.
So,
Twitter.com.
Let us do a second half.
Oh, yeah.
BMFcast.
do you have anything there? Hello? No?
You know.
No.
Nope.
No.
I've had this conversation. No, I do not.
No.
All right.
Hard no.
Do you want to do a movie and then me do a movie and then you do half a movie, or do you want to do your
I'll
half
do
a
the
movie?
half movie.
Are we doing
first.
half movies now?
He is apparently.
It'll be quick.
Okay.
That's something I saw on IMAX.
Well, when you're done, pitch it to me.
I will.
Okay.
And here's Chuck with the weather. It's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
All right, and welcome back.
Hey,
Hi.
BMFcast. Second
Hey.
half. Half number 2.
Hey, guys.
This is the half where we do more half.
2 of 2. 2 out of
Yeah.
2.
Yes.
Of all the halves, this is the second.
The second
It
of
is.
2.
Yep.
It'll probably be
The
last
final
one.
half.
Second
of
only
this
to the first.
episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit louder and a whole lot worse.
What do we do?
I think you talk about movies that you've seen.
I saw kind of sort of a movie.
All
I was in
right.
a theater.
Sure, yeah.
I saw the Game of Thrones thing on IMAX.
Oh, okay, yeah, that.
The Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, it was episode 9 and 10 from season 4.
Oh. Were those
So-
the final 2 episodes of season 4?
Yeah, they've always
Yes.
been 10
The
episodes.
battle episodes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 9 is the one that's
Right.
entirely Watchers on the Wall.
Okay.
And then
Which
10
is done by the guy that made that movie you love that you spoiled the ending of.
Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like in watching it a second time, it felt way more cohesive and better put together than it did the first time I watched it. First time I watched it, I was kind of not as impressed as I wanted to be, knowing that, basically the 9th episode of Game of Thrones is always like the one where all the big shit goes down.
But it was still kind of, it took you back a little bit because it was like, this is kind of epic what's happening, but
Yeah,
you kept
but-
waiting for them to cut to something else and they never do.
Yeah, and you kind of also are waiting for deaths that feel significant.
Yeah.
And there aren't really any, which for Game of Thrones is weird.
Yeah.
Isn't there one fairly significant?
Oh, yeah, there's one significant one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but
But there's a couple others where it's just like, that guy, did we like him? Who was that guy? I don't know. Well, see you, that guy.
Yeah.
you won't be watching
Yeah,
anymore.
and really, there's only like 2 settings
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where, like, in action movies, we talk about like geography and having people where they're supposed to be. And that one, in watching it again, everyone is exactly like, there's a reason for everyone being where they are at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to keep track of where they all are and where they've gone. And it's just a really well made episode. And it looked pretty cool on a big freaking IMAX screen.
How did the crowd react to this?
There was not much of a crowd,
Oh,
to be honest. There weren't a lot of people there, so.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, everyone enjoyed it.
Okay.
It wasn't like cheering and
They weren't
it
like
was just-
throwing
but
spoons at the screen.
The thing that's dumb about the way they did it is they had the previously on things in the beginning, which I hate. Like, you don't see them on HBO Go, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because like I hate the previously ons because it's like
it tells you what
something
you...
from like season 3 that wouldn't have made sense back then. They're like, well,
Obviously,
then
that's
they'll
going to come
suddenly
into
show
play.
that scene of these two people meeting, talking about something, and you go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." And you're like, "Well, I guess I know what's going to happen now."
Yep.
So they had those in front, which is dumb, and they showed the credits in between, like at the end of the Watchers on the Wall. They showed the credits, and then they went straight into the previously on Game of Thrones for the next episode. I was like,
Do you think they just ran the Blu-ray?
I think so.
Okay.
But do the Blu-rays? I haven't watched it on Blu-ray.
I thought that was the whole thing. Is they
no,
supposedly did IMAX
they
transfers.
ran it through their IMAX upres upscale.
yeah, because I mean, it
Embiggination,
looked really good.
whatever
Like,
it was
I don't
called.
know what
The
they.
Embiggenator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they if they're digital, they got to be digital. Everybody's digital, but
Yeah.
there was only one point where it looked weird, and it was during the whole big long tracking shot in the middle of Watchers, where it looked like they did a digital seam because the frame rate stuttered weirdly, which you're not going to notice on a small screen, but when you have it on giant IMAX,
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see where they did that,
Gotcha.
but no, I mean, it was worth seeing there, and then seeing the preview for the next season was like, yes, looks like good things next season. Stuff
Yeah.
I've wanted to see for a while. So yeah,
Sweet.
so yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know if it was worth the money, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my thing about it. Like, we talked about going, and it was like, you know what? We've
It's like
seen
full
these.
price. Yeah,
Kind of. We could watch them whenever we want. Why would we?
yeah, I know.
So
It was cool seeing it on giant IMAX.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a show that lends itself well to that. And even the slower one, the finale, where it's basically, here's catching up with everybody before we go away for a year.
right.
That one, even that stuff plays really well on a big screen too.
Yeah.
So Chuck,
Yeah.
did you watch anything
I did.
on IMAX?
Nah.
Why
On
not?
streaming from
Loser.
Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah. Last week on the show, I had mentioned I never saw Eraser,
Eraser.
and I was like, I should watch Eraser.
Yeah.
So I watched Eraser.
What'd you think of Eraser?
That movie's okay in retrospect. I mean, it's very low concept compared to everything you were getting from Arnold before that, which I think is what I said was keeping me from watching it before. But man, whoever sold Hollywood on CGI sold them a bill of goods like You know this stuff that you could do with models and special effects? What if I told you could do it on a computer for $10? Mm-hmm. And Hollywood was like, fuck yeah, we're in. And this movie goes so far on board with that stuff, and they weren't ready. The technology was not there. And I'm not even talking about the alligators, which are terrible because they don't have texture to them.
That is my favorite bad CG.
They're like original Xbox graphics of shiny. There's like, okay, it kind of fits in the scene, but it's shiny and doesn't have any depth or texture to it.
He calls them luggage.
Yeah, there's some good lines in it, but like, it's one of those movies that there's an effect shot coming because suddenly it looks like when you're at a theme park and it's one of those interactive movie things where like something's being projected on a screen and people are acting in front of it, and what's on the screen is very faded and discolored and looks old as shit.
Same year, Independence Day suffers significantly from that now, when you see it now.
Yeah, but like I didn't know exactly what the plot of this thing was, like when they bust out the EMP guns, but like in the first time when they're just shooting up this house with these guns and they make this sort of like this vapor trail the bullets do, and it's all CG bullshit. The first time those things start flying through the house, the whole movie, it almost like loses all color. That's how washed out it gets, and it's like, wow, this is going to be one hell of an effect shot coming up, and then like the whole movie does that.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing to look at a movie like this that feels more dated than something like Predator, which still doesn't feel dated at all. Predator still looks great. That kind of thing. Total Recall looks great. I mean, there's some goofy prosthetic things in that, but for the most part, that movie still looks really, really good. This, and it's ILM doing the effects, which was just hard to believe.
Well, that's the thing about the mid-'90s, is they were all just, we can do it with CG, so let's do it.
Exactly.
And it was like...
But like I said, they just weren't ready.
Yeah. And you've got shit like Lost in Space and just movies that weren't good in the first place, but so many of them that were sold on the special effects that were in them. It was just that there's that weird period between like 94 and 98 or so.
Yeah.
Basically before the Matrix showed up and was like, all right, here's how you fucking do special effects, you idiots. And then between there where those movies have aged terribly.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Terribly.
And another thing too, like when you get into mid-'90s movies, it's when people started to kind of get a grasp on how computers worked. So they would try to make things kind of work like a computer would, whereas in the 80s people just made shit up. Like no one understood shit about computers, so you could just do whatever.
Yeah.
That's more fun to me, especially in retrospect. Because like in the 80s, like computers would do anything. You just type 3 things and all of a sudden it's drawing, amazing graphics and stuff. And in like the mid-'90s, it's just like, oh, this is all shitty Windows 3.1 technology bullshit.
Except for hackers. That's why hackers rules.
Yeah, well, you got me there. But man, the one shot in this movie of Arnold coming up out of the floor of this warehouse, bursting through the floor. He's killed 2 guys, and he he dual wields the 2 EMP guns that they had. He just picks them right up and bursts out of the floor and just comes out of this building shooting those things. That is the best. That is like the thing that gets you going in this movie, where it's just like, fuck yes, this is what I want. But yeah, overall, it's okay. I don't feel like I missed anything.
All right.
Yeah.
But I can clear it off the list.
Yeah. It's also like one of the first ones where it's like, it's Arnold. Like, and that's all they sold it on. Like I don't even remember that they had a plot summary in any of the commercials or anything. Like, it's Arnold shooting motherfuckers.
The trailer was just him falling out of the airplane.
This summer.
Which, by the way,
Arnold
that whole thing was pretty dope. Like the whole, it's like a James Bond sequence of falling out of a plane, thinking you're okay, parachute gets fucked up, they start to steer the plane at you. And then he starts shooting the pilots. I mean, it's a very good sequence.
Yeah.
But it's all very obviously green screened.
Yeah. Yep.
So. Yeah, that's what I watched.
All right. BJ or Harlow, you watching?
I got nothing, man.
I got nothing yet. I didn't.
Just slow week.
Yeah.
Catching up on TV and doing chores and shit.
Living lives.
Yeah. When you're cleaning the house, you can't just stop and watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to be miserable.
Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of that, wife and I watched Bridesmaids.
Oh.
All right.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up seeing the unrated version,
Quote
apparently,
unquote,
which
finally,
is
right?
2 hours and 10 minutes long. Interminably long. Sad thing is, it's only 5 minutes longer than the regular version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I also hate that there's become this thing where, like, if you don't like that movie, you hate women in comedy and you're a piece of shit who, can't accept that.
There's that division.
It's weird because Melissa McCarthy is the funniest person in this movie. And everything that she's done since is a more vulgar riff on that character.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in it just enough to not suck. Basically, like, she's in it enough to be funny and, be the one, like, the wild card character in the scenes that she shows up in. But, god damn, like... there was a point where I was just like, I fucking hate everyone in this movie. Like, I really... Like, they're just... And Kristen Wiig, like, the whole movie is designed to be filtered into her viewpoint of, like, oh, this is what's happening, and oh, this is why she's a bitch, and this is, all this other stuff. And it's just like... It's all filtered into her viewpoint, but then she so actively makes choices that destroy everything that it's like, I can't root for you either.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand why I'm not supposed to like certain characters, and that's fine. And that's the thing, is the actors are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing in these scenes, but it's just like, the way it's all written is just like, ugh. It just... I understand, like, the whole, like, oh, we want this lovable loser type person, but man, some of those scenes, like, especially the airplane scene, it's like, I know why people hate Kristen Wiig now, because I never really felt that before. I was like, she's all right, but she doesn't do much for me. But man, like, that airplane scene refuses to end there, and that's kind of like this microcosm of the whole movie. It's like, this movie refuses to end. And the only character I really liked was the dude from IT Crowd, Chris Dowd, I believe is his name.
Yeah,
he's like,
Dowd, I believe. He has an O.
Dowd, yeah. Well, either way,
apostrophe.
But sure, he's Scottish. That's all I know. But but yeah, he like, he's like a really, like, it. He's basically a male manic pixie dream girl.
Oh,
because it feels like he exists only to be like, hey, get on with your life and enjoy things and be happy, you know. And it's kind of like, it's fun seeing that as a male character, but he's also easily the most likable character in the movie and the one with the most realistic reactions to everything. Whereas everybody else is just like...
movie character?
Well, no, it's less that... Well, yeah, a lot of them are just like a lot of the other bridesmaids eventually just become like this, this is my character trait.
Right.
So I'm doing that. And Kristen Wiig just gets piled on so much of the movie. I'm like, God... Because there's a point where she talks about, like, the mom tells her about, well, you'll hit bottom and it'll be better. And then eventually at one point in the movie, she's like, yeah, I don't think I've hit bottom yet, but I'm pretty fucking close. And it's like, yeah, I'm feeling that way with this movie. This movie is like, I want to like people, but man, it's just shitting all over them.
Yeah.
So, but there's a few good setups, but it's got that Apatow thing of just, let's just keep going, man. Let's just keep everything in.
Yeah, this is all good.
Yeah.
Use it all.
Yeah, because I lost track of how many acts are in that movie, because it goes so many fucking places. but by the end, I actually did kind of enjoy how it ends.
Okay.
Like, I thought it earned the ending that it gets, though the ending is rather abrupt. It's all of a sudden like, it's like, all right, we're over. Which I'm like, okay, I'm kind of cool with that, because I've been here for over 2 hours. But I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. It takes so long to get where it needs to go that I know I'll never watch that again. That's for sure. But
yeah.
I also don't understand why it's hailed as like this comedy masterpiece, if only because it's basically women getting all the roles and archetypes that the dudes usually get. And
is it widely acclaimed or was it just wildly popular?
well, I know Dissolve just put it on their top 50 of the
Millennium?
Oh, whatever it is. like
that year.
Like the half decade or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Sure.
Awesome, yeah.
But I mean, it is pretty well regarded.
Okay. I never knew with that. I just knew it was runaway popular. I never knew if like people were actually saying it's great or if it was just one of those movies that is critic proof.
No, I do think there's a lot of good filmmaking there, and I think there are a lot of good setups and jokes in it. But my problem with totally unlikable characters, and it just feels like a movie full of them.
Yeah. And
then those ones pile on the one you're supposed to be rooting for, and it's like, God damn movie. Like, I don't know. And it's also like, in the whole airplane scene, I've said before, I think I'm over uncomfortable comedy.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of that in there. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've said it seems like we're gonna have this weird look back on these era of movies and just be like, really, that's what we were laughing at. I mean, all of that and like Wedding Crashers and Hangover and all this, I think are going to suffer some hard like, wow, like that was our comedy for a while, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I just think they're gonna hit like hard in like anti nostalgia, where it's just like suddenly we're gonna wake up and like a new kind of comedy will come out that is funny and or different kind of funny, and it's just like oh okay, like that was weird how we got into that, like everybody was just kind of a dick.
The whole improv thing.
Yeah, well, improv and like being a dick, just being a dick, and then well, I guess it'll work out if you maybe slightly stop being a dick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There just aren't tightly paced, just like real heavily scripted, tightly paced comedies anymore.
They're all animated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, there should be a fucking law. 90 minutes. If you're a comedy, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Get it fucking done in 90 minutes.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
story's not important.
I've said it. It's not. I mean, I'm not looking at it as like this is the only time this ever happened. I've always said that I must be one of the only people who really doesn't like Animal House. It feels like the 70s version, or I guess it was 70s or
Yeah,
80s?
yeah.
70s version of the same kind of thing. Where
Yeah.
it's like everyone in this movie is pretty much an asshole and has no reason that they should win.
Well,
And-
it's that whole thing where, yeah, you're supposed to be rooting for them because they're the protagonists.
Right.
Like, but you're not really given a reason to be
No.
rooting for them.
I mean, there are things in it that are funny. Don't get me wrong. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like as like going back and watching that movie. It's like, like
But we've talked about that. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole like perspective of what people were railing against in the late
Yeah.
70s is nowhere near what we are railing against now. So it's like you're a major asshole.
yeah.
Like you deserve all the bad things that's happening to you in this movie. Whereas back then it was like, yeah, fuck the machine and the power and the it's just, we don't have that anymore.
Who knows? I don't want to get a dissertation on comedy.
Yeah.
Fart noise.
Inside the comedy
Farts are
mind.
always funny. That's the secret of comedy.
Speaking of farts,
Yeah. Good segue.
Yeah, that's true. We got some fan art.
thought I'd help out.
Yeah.
Good job.
thanks.
You
See
did
what
well.
I could do.
We got something from Mario from Germany. Said, hey, BMF crew, I did a thing for you. Also, I suck at Photoshop. Auf Wiedersehen, Mario from Germany.
I think it's
And-
off design.
You said it right. Whatever. Yeah. And it is the notorious BMF, which is all of us wearing crowns.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I'm still wondering where he got some of these images.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, right back in
I
and
know-
tell
I know-
us where you stalked us and got the image.
Yeah.
All I know is that it's from me at a convention. I don't know which one or where or why. I'm sure it's something I got from Twitter, but
Is it?
I just know I'm wearing a lanyard, and
Yep.
I don't normally wear a lanyard.
Yeah, I think that is your the Summer Glau picture.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mine's relatively recent because I've got my new giant ass glasses in it. So
Ass glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. But thanks, Mario. Check the live stream if you want to see that.
yeah, we'll probably throw it up on the Facebook page. You guys can thumbs up it. if
Yeah,
you
I
like.
forgot to put the disco one up.
What?
But maybe I'm saving it until
Yeah, we got to use
the
it for
proper
when we
premiere
get there.
Because I think somebody commented on the episode and was like, hey, where is this sweet art? And I was like, yeah, I guess we did say we were going to post it on there, but
Swart,
yeah.
Sword.
starring
art.
Colin Farrell.
Yep.
SWAT.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
I wasn't correcting you.
Oh, you
That
were
was a-
swatting me.
That was a physical act
Oh, I get
towards
it.
you.
I
Oh,
see.
comedy.
Yeah.
All right. First one up here, or well, second one up now, is from Sean, who says, title, this is The Punisher. No, not that one. The other one. Dear BMFcast, I was thinking back to some of the old action movies I watched back in my VHS days. Remember the films of Kathy the Punisher Long. Kathy Long was an MMA fighter and stunt woman back in the day. Her most notable film is probably Batman Returns, where she doubled Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. She also had a few acting roles, though, and I believe her films are definitely BMFcast worthy. Long's first starring role was alongside Chris Christopherson in Albert Pune's Knights back in 1993.
Okay, I'm in.
Pune, I'm out. Originally envisioned as a sequel to Van Damme's Cyborg, Knights is the story of a cyborg named Gabriel who is given a year's worth of fuel and a single directive: destroy all other cyborgs. He meets up with a young survivor named Nia and teaches her the ways of killing cyborgs. This proves useful when they come upon evil cyborg Lance Henriksen and his evil cyborg army. Okay,
What?
I'm back in.
Yeah.
Much killing of cyborgs ensues. Long then played the lead in 1995's The Stranger. A mysterious woman in black arrives in a small town and starts killing members of the local biker gang. Her similar appearance to a woman the gang murdered a few years ago is not lost on Cole, the dead woman's husband. Is it just a coincidence, or has Cole's wife returned from the grave to take the vengeance her husband was too cowardly to take? I don't actually remember, so I guess you'll have to watch it and find out. The last Kathy Long film I watched was also from 1995 and called Under the Gun. Richard Norton plays tough guy Frank Torrens, an ex-hockey player with a shady past and a failing sports bar. Frank has come up with a brilliant scheme.
Failing sports bar. Wow.
Yeah. He just played the wrong sports. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Frank has come up with a brilliant scheme to unload his bar, screw over his creditors, and leave the country with a suitcase full of cash. On the night Frank puts his plan to action, everything goes wrong, and he must improvise like a madman just to stay alive. Long has a smaller role in this one as Frank's drinking buddy, but she still gets a few action scenes to her credit. Anyway, these are a few movies you can add to the recommendation backlog. Look forward to roller skating month or whatever you call it. Thanks, Sean. P.S. No, seriously, just don't watch American Ninja 5. Just don't.
Hey, man.
He does not like American Ninja 5. I think he mentioned that last week, too.
Yeah.
Wait, is 5 where they finally team up back together?
No, that's 4.
Oh, okay.
5, I think, is not actually an American Ninja film.
Oh, okay.
And I think it has the dude in it, but he's playing a different character.
The dude a cough?
No, the other dude.
Oh.
Oh,
Cyborg cop dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
David Bradley.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I want to see all this lady's movies now because they all sound awesome. I'm
They
in.
do sound kind of awesome.
Totally in.
Did I see her on
He
Romeo
said
and
it takes
Michelle?
a cyborg
Why, was she like
to
stunts
kill
or
a
something?
cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to prove him dead wrong.
Yep.
Yes.
And she's in Rage and Honor with Cynthia Rothrock. Where Rothrock
Is that the
plays-
secret to honor and glory?
Might be. Rage.
The secret to it? It's the secret behind
Sequel?
Honor. Yeah.
Secret sequel?
Yeah.
Which sounds like The Substitute, but with Rothrock instead of Tom Berenger. So, ooh, and Catherine Bach's in it. And Richard Norton.
Duke.
Oh my God. Thanks, dude. Thanks for letting me find these movies.
Yes.
All right.
We may already have that one
I believe we. Yeah,
set aside.
I believe we do.
in our Rothrock collection.
Yeah.
Probably. Next one up is from Anders from Sweden, who mentions Deadly Prey and Deadlier Prey. Greetings, casters of Banff. A few years ago, you reviewed the gloriously realistic action flick Deadly Prey. Since then, the people behind it have made a sequel/remake/homage entitled Deadliest Prey. I have seen side-by-side comparisons, and the new film seems to be every bit as quote-unquote good as the original. Perhaps something for Deadcember 2015, together with the Finnish Killer Santa film Rare Exports and the Norwegian Winter Classics Troll Hunter, Dead Snow, and Dead Snow 2, the sequel you did Nazi coming.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
Best regards, Anders from Sweden, sent from my MK2 Etch-a-Sketch, a.k.a. tablet.
Wow, an MK2.
Mark II. Maybe that's what he meant? I don't know.
Mark II, probably.
Either way. I don't talk military, so...
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, what was it? When we heard about Deadliest Prey, they were still making it.
Well, and like it was filming it or showing at like some weird little independent film festival type things or something kind of deal. And then
Yeah.
like it went to like, where can you find it?
Looking at Amazon, it looks like it's on DVD and you can buy it directly from David A. Pryor.
Okay. And I think maybe that's where it went and we just never followed through.
Yeah, we never ordered it.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it
we need to do that. We need to get on it.
yep.
That might have been also a case of like us, like same thing with the Samurai Cop sequel, where it's like they kind of know what they've got, don't they? But with these guys, at least they made a billion
yeah.
movies like that.
Like the
so-
Samurai
yeah.
Cop guy didn't really make anything else, I don't think. Well,
Yeah.
it's not the same filmmaker, right?
No, he
Yeah,
died.
No,
He died,
he
yeah.
died, so-
yeah,
Yeah.
we had this discussion. And
Yeah, it's
this
basically
is-
a guy who's made porn before, which
Right,
is why
and
there's
it's
a whole
like
bunch
all
of porn stars in
and-
Samurai Cop
and
2
Samurai.
now.
But this is like, I mean, this the prior people went, not prior as in before, but they've made a lot of other stuff. You know,
Yes, they did.
they are the prior
Yeah.
directors.
I hold way more hope for that one. All right. Next up's John Odyssey. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Just cut that out. He was just apologizing for a bad sign off on the last one, but
All right.
then
Yeah.
yeah.
message received, John.
Okay.
Or something. All right. All right. Next up, Jay from Cali says, "Why Marty McFly changes in Back to the Future 2? Mackie, son, I am disappointed. Before traveling back to 1955, George was a pushover, and Marty taught him to stand up for himself, and it makes sense that George would have instilled this value into his children, causing the attitude change in Marty. Remember what Doc Brown said, changes made to the past have an effect on the future. If you crash and burn at 88 miles per hour, you generate the 1.21 gigawatts necessary to power the flux capacitor. Jay out, sent to you through a Western Union courier via letter left at their office 70 years prior with instructions to deliver it to you on this night at the same time at the spot.
That's pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
first off, I'd say
How'd
it
you
really
get it on your
wasn't
phone?
Marty McFly that changed from Back to the Future 1 and 2. It was George McFly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
and
Crispin Glover wasn't in it. Yeah.
I get it.
Anyway.
I'd heard that theory before, and I kind of think it's bullshit, to be
Well-
totally honest with you.
Well, if you go with that theory, that opens up the paradox can of worms of
Sure.
if that can change and his fundamental being can change, then why does he suddenly remember all of it when waking up?
Yeah.
You know, and why would he have gotten in the situation with Doc Brown and he wouldn't have changed? Either he wakes up and he has no memory of going back to 1955, or he wouldn't
Yeah.
have changed
Yeah.
because he'd be the same person in 1955.
There are so many, like the ripple effect gets discussed a ton, where it's like, well, it catches up with you eventually, kind of like
Okay.
how he started slowly fading and how the picture was fading in the first one. And,
Sure.
But it doesn't excuse the fact that it's lazy-ass screenwriting. Whenever they need something to go wrong, they have someone call Marty a chicken, and that's what really fucking bugs me about those scenes.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's
And
a
it's just-
nice fan theory to try and
Yeah.
explain a discrepancy, but look, the writers didn't come up with that. There's no way anyone writing that was like, and how about this? It's like he taught George this. It's like, no.
it reminds me of like the Mass Effect 3 indoctrination theory that they
Oh,
had
yeah.
before like the actual end, the ending came out, where they're like, no, here's actually what happened.
Yeah.
But it was like these people just so desperately wanting something to be there that that wasn't just, well, the writers are lazy and they didn't fucking fix it.
Yeah, they needed a device to propel the story forward, and they invented that.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But I still fucking hate it. Besides, he's not the Marty McFly that went.
I know.
He's the Marty McFly that's been traveling through time.
I mean, if you want to get the whole why does Doc Brown think Marty's okay? Why does he think like Marty's life is fine? Now let's work on his kids. Marty's life is shit in 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, garbage. He's
Yeah.
wearing 2 ties and working for Flea, and
Yeah. He gets fired immediately.
yeah, it's just
Everybody's
Yeah,
wearing
it-
2 ties, though.
I know, but
Well,
still,
that's the whole thing about Back to the Future too. He's like, Marty, we got to save your kids. It's like,
Yeah.
no, his kids aren't the problem.
you save your friend Marty.
Marty's the fucking problem.
Marty's a fucking hothead all of a sudden.
Why not stop Marty from racing the car? Where they mentioned that if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have stopped playing guitar. And,
Yeah, let him play guitar. He needs to be a rock and roll star.
God, the more I think about shit like that, the more I'm like, they should have just left it Back to the Future 1. God
Yeah,
damn it.
they're fine. Just don't think about it. Just enjoy the crisscrossing of
Like
everything.
I said, if you just look at them as like the Matrix sequels, it's just don't think too hard about it.
Yeah,
Because as
I
soon as you
know.
think about fucking Colonel Sanders or you think about evil Marty and
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
fucking just throw it all away. Just things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie.
Yep.
It is a movie.
It
Tight
is a
script
movie.
first one, and then movies.
It's really
Well, then-
hard to keep from fucking something up. The more time travel you get into it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you have to either focus on a very specific time
Yeah.
or set of times and then just fucking leave it, or there's not even an or. That's all.
Yeah,
you,
that's
that's
what
all
you
you
gotta
can
do.
do. You can't pull back and pull back and pull back, or else
Yeah.
it's going to fall apart.
Totally.
Well, the thing about it too is they didn't want to make the sequel. They hadn't planned on a sequel.
Yeah.
They boxed themselves in by doing the ending that they did, which was kind of a joke. And then
They had to.
and then
build
Universal's
on it.
like, well, all right, so Back to the Future 2.
yeah.
What are we doing? And they're like, no, we're done. And they're like, well, we're making it then. And they said, okay, back up.
Yeah.
Let us do it. All right.
Yeah.
So there's kind of that same sense of like The Hobbit, where it's like they probably didn't want to do this, but they didn't want anybody else fucking it up.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
They just decided to fuck it up themselves.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Well, have we reached the end?
Yeah, just want to mention Paste had 100 best martial arts movies of all time article.
Mhm. Saw that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was not bad.
I made a big letterbox list with links to a whole bunch of them that are streaming online, so
Good for you.
check it out. It feels like my life's work on that fucking thing. Let me tell you. Tracking down some of those movies is goddamn impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the YouTube ones where it's like, are they in public domain? They probably are by now. I don't know. But like, it'll be like, this is only in Cantonese with no subtitles. So good luck.
Yeah.
But when it's just dudes kicking dudes in the face, maybe you don't need subtitles.
Yeah, I mean, you think how hard it is to find certain American movies that were like made here, distributed here, and you think like, I can't find this anywhere. Now you want to talk about movies made overseas, you know, that maybe never even came out here or never had any kind of localization or anything.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. But it did point me to Shaw Brothers YouTube account where you can actually rent movies, like rent Shaw Brothers movies from them. And they look phenomenal. Like, I don't know what they've been doing to clean up those prints, but they look amazing.
Yeah.
Like, among the best Blu-rays you'll see, like, the colors are super vivid, everything is crisp and clear, and there doesn't just seem to be grain all over them, which so many of these older, you know, like, early 70s martial arts movies are just like, we're so used to seeing them look like garbage.
Well, you just imagine they have that grindhouse layer over it of splices and rips, and it's like, well, that's all that's left of this film. So to find one like in a vault somewhere, you know, to think that, you know, these movies actually probably do exist in pretty pristine condition somewhere. It's just like the prints that made the tour are the ones that are, you know, all fucked up. So
yeah. But God, if you want to check out some of those movies, go to their YouTube account, and they have a whole bunch of them, and it's like $1.99 to rent them.
Yeah.
In HD, which is pretty good. You know, it's cheaper than Amazon is.
Yeah.
So give it a look. There's plenty of BMFcast movies on there. Ricky O is on YouTube in its entirety, so fucking watch that if you have not, because goddamn, I started watching that again. I was like, God,
It's so good.
Ricky O is so fucking awesome.
I need to watch that.
Get Ricky. You hear that a lot. But yeah, that movie's fantastic. We should have given that 5 jocks.
What was it, mints out of the eyeball?
We weren't giving jocks, really.
I know.
We sort of retroactively tried to decide based on our enthusiasm.
Yeah, and we were done. We should have all just been like 5 jocks.
Okay.
Could be 5 Ricky O's right now.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. 5 head smashes.
5 X-ray punches.
Yeah, but that was not in that. That was in the Street Fighter first.
Yeah, but it was still...
Yeah, it's still pretty
In
good
there.
when it happens in Ricky O, too. But I think that shot is like lifted directly from the Street Fighter. They're just like, fuck it. No one will know. And then everyone's like, hey. So,
Yeah. All right.
Time to get out of here?
yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, before we do, I want to tell you how to get in contact with us. BMFcast.com. There's a sort of rail on the right-hand side that has a bunch of buttons. That's all of our social stuff. You can email us, bmf@bmfcast.com, and you can give us a call on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Give us a call.
Totes.
Yeah.
Or stop by. I'll give you the address.
Nope.
Nope.
We got to go.
People are
We're out
already
of time.
finding our photos. Let's not go there. But we appreciate the fart. Anyway.
Big fans of fart.
So let's get out of here. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Junior Cranberry,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out.
Junior Cranberry.
New promotion spray. Junior Cranberry.
It's Cranberry.
I'm Junior Cranberry.
I'm much sweeter.
Oh. The forbidden fruit.
No. Absolutely not.
I'm done with those jokes. I was going to make a better joke, but
No.
Oh, please, go ahead.
No,
Make your better joke.
Nope.
All right.
I was going to talk about old cranberries and being sour and stuff.
Oh.
No, you're all
I'm old Cranberry.
old cranberry. Cranberry Senior, you know.
I'll help you stay regular. Old Cranberry.
I need the hair silky and smooth.
Shampoo is better. Conditioner is
Cranberry's better.
I'm Junior Cranberry.
Come here, kiss your cranberry.
Oh, I'm precocious.
Are you?
Hello. Hello. Pay
Precocious
attention.
cranberry. Precocious berry.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah. Good night,
Precocious
people.
berry.
Aye.
It's from precaution spray.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it. Bye, internet.
Yep, bye.
Later.
Sorry that we exist.
Yep.
Night.
We apologize as always for our continued existence.
Yeah. Totes sorry.